All right, pal.
All right, how you doing?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
I'm buzzing, man. My mate just won his fourth professional fight.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's great, man. Great. Stopped in this at the in between the second and third round, so really good, really good. But overall, it's just been a really nice day actually, because other than that happening, it's been sunny in Scotland.
I know it's. I actually didn't make the most of it at all. Like I spent most of the day like not really doing anything in the house. I was only out for maybe I don't know half an hour, 40 minutes the whole day. But it was nice to see sunshine in the window.
Exactly. To have the option.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. Like literally like was just doing stuff about the house today, stuff I just left off for ages. And lays the boot, watched a couple of films.
What films?
But I was just continuing the Daniel Craig James Bond films.
All
Um,
right, aye. Aye.
so I watched Quantum of Solace and then I watched Skyfall. Um, Absolutely love Skyfall, man. Like, just I think it's one of the best James Bond films, but it's also got one of the best villains as well. Like Javier Bardem was just amazing. Like, he's amazing in everything he's in, but he's very much amazing as oh man, I can't remember his name. It's like Tiago something. It's kind of like a kind of Latino name. Can't remember what his name it is, but it's class. Like just and what I love as well, it's like it directly addresses the roots of James Bond being half Scottish, like growing up in Scotland as a kid.
Aye.
So it's really, really good. So I've got Spectre to watch. So I'll maybe watch that after this, depending on how I feel. And I'm currently loading up on ice cream as well. I basically went back out to the shops again just to get ice cream.
Fair enough. Quite right. No, man, it's going to be good to finally see that James Bond film that we've been waiting over a year for.
I know.
It's November now. When is it? When is it coming out this time?
See, to be honest, like I stopped following the delays just because it was annoying me so much. But I like part of me wants to say like last time I checked it was like August or October or something.
Aye. Hopefully, at least we'll get it at some point because it is looking hopeful.
Definitely, and I think that's definitely the last one for Daniel Craig as far as I've read.
Aye, it has got a name, eh?
It's No Time to Die.
No Time to Die. That's it. I think this is the 25th Bond film, so it's definitely a good one to go out on.
Yeah, definitely. I think Skyfall was the one that fell on like the 50th anniversary of like James Bond in general, which is mental to think it had gone about for so long.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Well, I look forward to that. Last time, we talked for so long about 3 films that we couldn't even fit in the other 3 films. So there's now a part fucking 3.
Well, let's be honest, we spoke so long about 2 films.
Exactly.
We spent about 10, 15 minutes on Black Panther, and then we spent like an hour and 20 on like Infinity War and Endgame.
Aye, and then we got to the end of it, we were like, we can't do any more tonight.
A bit long that like.
Aye. But aye, let's get started. What one? I'll let you start.
Cool. I'm one of like the minority that absolutely loves Brie Larson. I think she's amazing. As a person, as a performer, as a singer, and I think she's a really bad rap for Captain Marvel. I think what people sometimes forget about a lot of Captain Marvel when they're talking about her particular acting in the movie is that her character is supposed to be pretty much emotionless for most of it because of her
Yeah.
kind of controlling and almost like reset when she gets taken to, I can't remember what the planet's called. And she's obviously reborn as Veers.
Yep.
And she's controlled by Jude Law and whatever the controlling power is. I can't remember the name yet. But I absolutely love the film. I love the kind of no a full origin story of Nick Fury, but a bit further back when he was kind of just getting started with Shield.
Yeah.
And obviously the kind of beginning of the relationship between him and Coulson. So you obviously see that him and Coulson have been together for a very long time.
Yeah.
Once you see him, and I think it adds a dimension to when Coulson dies slash not dies in
Yeah.
Avengers Assemble, where it's one of the few times that Fury shows a bit of emotion. Like he doesn't show a lot, but I think it's the closest you get to him showing some emotion.
Yep.
I think they could have done more in respect to her showing her full power in terms of like
Yep.
a proper battle. Um,
Yep.
Obviously, I know she has the kind of battle with like her old team, but it's clear none of them were ever going to come close to getting laying a glove on her. Um,
Yeah.
and it's when Ronan came, I thought, all right, cool, might be a battle between her and Ronan. And, you know, she just destroys loads of kind of missiles and gives him a kind of like a threat in front of her face and he just disappears again like a big shite bag.
Aye.
So yeah, so I think on the whole, I think obviously like I think the relationship with is it Maria Rambo or is it Monica Rambo? Who's the mum?
I think Monica is the mum.
Like, cool. So I like to see the relationship with that, and also I think Ben Mendelsohn is an absolute
Brilliant.
great actor, like just
Yep.
phenomenal, and absolutely everything he's in, from a small role to a big role, and having him as Talos when the introduction to them was really good as well. So for me, I think
Yeah.
Captain Marvel was a really good film, but um, I see why the kind of Marvel universe doesn't like it as much. The timing of it wasn't fair to the character. I don't think.
Yeah.
Um,
Definitely.
like to just introduce this hero that is brought in, and you're basically told they're kind of the strongest of them all straight away.
Uh,
Um, is a bit unfair because it's you get a slight origin story and they're told that cool they're the boss almost. Um,
exactly. Aye.
it didn't go in the film's favour.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, that's kind of my take on it.
I agree. I mean, to be fair to the film, I do enjoy it. Like, I think it is I don't think it's a bad film by any standard. It's definitely decent. It has almost the beginning of it almost has like Terminator vibes when she comes crashing through the blockbuster, and she's
Yeah,
like this fucking like alien entity, and she's she meets the local fucking police, and then she's like does all that sort of stuff. I enjoy that sort of feel, that 90s vibe and all that sort of stuff.
yeah,
I love the scrolls. I think that's brilliant. That was such a good twist that they weren't bad. That was awesome. Uh, Seeing Nick Fury being young and having his two eyes, and Coulson being there was just amazing. I don't have a problem with Brie Larson. I don't like her. I don't not like her. I think it's just I don't know what it is. I can't quite stick Captain Marvel. Um, so I'll just have to see where it goes in the second one. But I think it just may be the OP-ness, the overpoweredness, Captain Marvel, that maybe
mhm,
puts me off a bit. But no, the film itself, I really enjoy. But I don't think, other than like Superman, when it comes to power limitations, I don't like it when I can't see the limits and they're trying to make it seem like this character is so powerful, but then
Mm.
they, they have a scene where they nearly get beat or something. It's like, if this character is as powerful as you say they are, then they should never have a moment like that. And
Yeah.
then if that is the case, you've always got just a boring film because that character's always going to win. So there is, I think that's one of the aspects that puts me off Captain Marvel, is that they try to claim that she is this super powerful being that just hasn't unlocked her full potential yet, and the
Yeah.
thought that her full potential is just unstoppable is boring. If you get what I mean.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think that the way that they brought her in, and the way that it was kind of put forward was like, oh, like she is like uber strong and unbeatable, but
Aye.
they they never ever gave you a scene to prove that, or for you to get excited about it. Like, if I was just to say to you, like, oh, I don't know, Shang-Chi is going to be the most unstoppable hero ever. Nobody can stop him. He's totally strong as fuck. But the entire film, you never see him in a battle. You're going to sit there and go, well, why should I believe you? I've not seen anything. Um,
Exactly.
and that's the issue with Captain Marvel. There was no point in the movie that she, went, crazy, or like just fucked loads of people up.
Yeah.
It was very much just like, oh, this was the tip of the iceberg. And even obviously when we get to like Endgame, like, she comes out of nowhere and she destroys a ship, but she basically destroyed ships in Captain Marvel as well. So even at that stage, there was no real, oh, she's uber powerful. The only moment you get where you realise that she is really strong is when Thanos gives her a severe Malky, and she just kind of looks at him, bitch. What the fuck? But then she basically has all the power of an Infinity Stone, kind of Tesseract kind of power.
Yeah.
And Thanos was able to take an equal Infinity Stone, hit her once, and she went flying. Do you know?
Exactly.
Like, I know, and
Yeah.
I get that. I get that was the Power Stone, so maybe all stones aren't equal. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, like, I love the film, but I also, you know me, I review films and I look at films differently, and Devil's Advocate and everything else. Um, and I can see why people went, that's not believable, or that's bullshit, or like, this is why I don't like this, or whatever. And I agree with them in loads of respects, like I really do. I just think that if they had brought out Captain Marvel maybe 2 films or so before Infinity War,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe included her in some fashion in Infinity War, and then she had a bigger deal in the Endgame, then I think as the character, people would have liked it, would have got more of the character, would have seen more. I think that would have went better, but I don't think the placement of the film helped at all.
Definitely no. Definitely no. Um, you know me, man. I'm not even one for like all these sort of really pushy, politically correct sort of feminist vibes. But I was okay with the way they portrayed it in Captain Marvel because it was like it wasn't in your face sort of shit. It was like, oh, like the wee girl getting up constantly in her flashback sort of thing, and then with her getting up to fight the bad guy. And
Yeah,
it wasn't a case of all men are evil sort of thing, which is normally the case with these absolute nutters.
yeah,
Uh, and no, I like that aspect of it, and I had no problem with it for once, which is saying something for me, believe me. Uh, and I just feel like the film could have portrayed that even better. Like, obviously keep it subtle, but they could have just they could have just done a better job all the way around. You know, like the woman doesn't have to be the most powerful for me to like her, if you get what I mean. Like
Yeah,
putting a woman character in there, you don't need to say she's the most powerful for me to go, oh, I really like that character, you know.
yeah.
Which is what I kind of get the vibe that they done as part of the problem. But aye, so we'll go to what's the next one?
Like,
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I was going to say a couple of little bits on Captain Marvel there.
Aye,
Uh,
yeah,
I was just going to say, on your point about they don't have to be like the most powerful to like them, I absolutely agree. And what I don't think they did very well was, we were leading up to Infinity War and Endgame, and we sort of knew what part each hero was going to play in either a big role or a smaller role.
yeah.
Whereas with Captain Marvel, she was introduced, but there was no clear, this is why. It was just,
Aye, definitely.
you know what I mean? Like, it was just, here's
Aye,
this new hero who's super powerful, um, and the only reason she's coming to help is because Nick Fury's missing. Like,
aye, exactly. I feel like it's kind of a yes and no to what you just said. It can be. They never gave a clear thing in our film at all. But at the same time, with the Nick Fury situation, they kind of hinted that she was the saving grace.
aye,
If you get what I mean.
in the kind of post credit, like she was the man that was
Yeah.
going to come and save everybody.
Aye,
Yeah, I totally agree.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
the second point I was going to say was in the Winter Soldier, where Cap's talking about trust, and Nick Fury says, "The last time I trusted someone, I lost an eye." And then you see in
Aye.
Cap the whole fucking end bit is he just
Oh.
gets eye by a cat. Well, it's
I
not a
know.
cat.
It's like
You know what I mean? It's whatever it is.
a
But I
phone.
remember that happening. Fuck off! Like, no way.
Exactly.
That's no.
Exactly.
That's not how that happened. Like, I was expecting to get shot in the eye or something during the battle, or something mental, not just the florkin scratched him in the eye.
Mm. Aye, exactly. It's a bit weird, but yeah, we need to go with it now. It's continuity, so
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
bye.
I'll let you talk more about the next one because you know how I feel about Ant-Man.
Bye. uh, Ant-Man again. It just feels like one of the sort of mediocre side of Marvel. Like it's there almost as filler. It's half decent. I understand the need for it and the explanation of how to get to the quantum realm and how to do all that sort of use the pin particles and things like that. And they need to go back and save Janet Van Dyne, the
Yeah,
original Ant-Man's husband, the original Wasp. And to do that, the new Ant-Man and the new Wasp uh, obviously are creating this machine. Well, to start with, Ant-Man's on fucking house arrest, and they need to sort of recruit him, but they're doing it reluctantly because he helped Captain America, who's basically classed as some sort of terrorist at this point.
yeah.
Um,
Vigilante.
exactly. And at the same time, there's this ghost person who's sort of, how would you explain her power? She sort of phases in and out of reality almost.
I like. I kind of think it's cool, but like at the same time, I'm not too sure. Like I've only seen the film once,
Aye.
and I'm genuinely trying to remember. Like I do remember that they had to be in like a little chamber to kind of stabilize herself, so it was like an
Yep.
um, sort of involuntary power. But if she wore that kind of suit, she managed to kind of concentrate it in a way.
Yeah.
Um, but I remember like the only bit I can remember fully of the suit is when Ant-Man's pal is like talking to them, and he's like, "Oh, he's like, no here," he's like, "Here," and then the wee ghost appears, and she's like, "What?" And then they're like, "Whoa!" Like just to anywhere. That's the only bit I remember. Sadly.
Unfortunately, it's no film that I could even go into detail with as well. That that kind of says to me how lackluster it kind of was, purely on the fact that I've watched it like a grand total of twice, and it just doesn't do it for me. And the fact that it low key annoys me that they didn't call the next one Ant Man and the Wasp and Spectre, and they're calling it Ant Man and the Wasp Quantum Mania, because I thought just as a running theme that they would just add the third sort of superhero in there,
Yeah,
but they
I
didn't.
live to be fair.
Aye, but aye. All in all, quick coverage. I enjoyed it, but probably I'd say down there as one of my least favourite.
Like I say, man, like it's one of those I've watched once, and it says a lot because me and you both love the Marvel films. Like we'll give
Aye.
every single one of them a watch, even if it's a character that we don't really know
Yep.
anything about. Um, and I remember watching it, and after it, just not really being um, uh, overly enamored, like overly excited. Um, the only character I really like is what's his name? Basically, the kind of daft pal that Ant Man's got. I can't remember his name.
Oh,
Uh,
aye.
because he's hilarious. But the
Yeah,
rest of them, I don't really care. Um,
aye.
but
Aye.
in terms of like continuity, like obviously the way that finishes with Ant Man getting stuck in the quantum realm is obviously kind of sets up um, where Endgame starts.
Yep.
So it's good for a lead-in story to that. Um, the is it Detective Wu? I think his name is.
Aye.
Uh,
Yeah.
Obviously, he leads from kind of being in there, uh, wanting Ant Man to teach him the card trick, to then doing the card trick in one division. Um,
Yeah. He's
it
a great
was
character.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that says a lot about I absolutely love Paul Rudd. I've loved Paul Rudd since he was in Friends years ago, and loads of other films he's been in. Evangeline Lilly, yeah, decent enough. She's not a bad actress. But I think it says a lot that my takeaways from the show were about two lesser characters than
Yeah. Aye.
main characters. You know what I mean? Um,
Exactly.
and obviously, um, I think if we really think about it, Ant Man's introduction was essentially just to help the end game story.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I know that they had planned an Ant Man film for like years upon years since before Iron Man was even a thought. And it was, I think it was Edgar Wright, if
Yeah,
I'm correct. I
he's
think he was
class.
supposed to be. I think he was supposed to be writing and directing it, but he pulled out that I've got the wrong name, um, because there was just creative differences and everything was all over the place. But Iron Man, all in all, I don't really even want to spend too much more time talking about it because I just feel like no the only Marvel films that fail are the Marvel films that are solely to set up the next one. Like
Uh,
all the other good ones are a good film on their own, if you know what I mean. Like Ant Man One is a good film on its own. It's decent, and even though it's not great, it is good on its own. Whereas Ant Man and the Wasp sort of fails purely because it's like its whole purpose is that end credit scene, and it just pales in comparison to everything else.
yeah, exactly. The start of that film is continuation of the story just before it, and the end of the film is to start a story for the next film. So
Yeah.
you say it's a transition film. So yeah, let's pass on that.
Yeah.
So on that somber note, that's our sort of finished phase 3. And we can
No,
now
there's
talk
one
about
last film in phase 3.
what's that? Oh shit, yeah, so there is. My apologies.
Spooderman.
Um,
Hi, man.
I can't believe I forgot about
I would have taken, man, if I didn't read the thing.
that. Genuinely, do you know what it is? See, because it's no on Disney Plus, that's how I forget about it sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah, man. No, I get you. I get you on that one. But that's a good film.
It's a great film.
Absolutely
And
brilliant.
you
For
know
the
what?
bad guy to honestly
The,
brilliant.
everything, and the thing was that probably had the most pressure on it of any other Marvel movie
Oh yeah,
because it's the one immediately after Endgame.
exactly.
Um,
It's the first one after. Exactly. It's amazing.
exactly, like this is the one where it basically said, right, this is the start of the new saga. Whatever the saga is going to be, whatever it's going to be called in the future, this is the start of it. Um, it's not a sequel. It's a brand new story altogether, and I think it just done absolutely brilliantly
Yep.
to address everything, like everything from Peter's time to grow up, Peter's expectations, Peter's feelings, um, to addressing the blip, to addressing Tony Stark slash Iron Man's death. Oh man, just I love Far From Home. Like genuinely,
Yep.
I
It's
love
brilliant.
everything about it.
I tell you what, uh, Jake Gyllenhaal does an absolute brilliant job at Quentin Blake and playing Mysterio. Like what an absolute great villain. Another great villain that hopefully is not actually dead.
Yeah,
Because
hopefully.
hopefully he's the mastermind behind the next Sinister Six. Hopefully with Alfred, is it Molino?
And Melina.
Molina, that's it. Hopefully Alfred Molina, um, Jake Gyllenhaal, Michael Keaton. These guys can do a real Sinister Six, and that is a powerhouse of a cast already. So who
Oh,
they get to play the other three would just be absolutely insane.
well, I think Willem Dafoe is supposed to be coming back as Green Goblin.
Don't don't tease me. That would just blow it out the water, because then you've got, and obviously Jamie Foxx.
Yeah,
So there's
right.
there's five. Now what a fucking powerhouse is a Sinister Six that is.
Exactly,
So
exactly. Like,
so what the last one going to be? Michael Morbius, Jared Leto,
yeah, probably.
and then obviously we've had Craven the Hunter introduced as well. So what
Yeah,
if that is the route they're going down, and that's the Sinister Six plus one that they're going to go up against, that Spider Man's going to go up against. Hopefully in a Spider Verse storyline.
yeah.
I could honestly say that I would be as excited for that as I was for Endgame, because seeing Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland, our three Spider Men, go up against all the villains from all three of the universes. I think I'd die in my seat.
No, I genuinely believe that because you've been really excited about this since kind of the announcement. So I absolutely believe that.
Right.
Um, and obviously, I was just talking about like expectations there. Obviously, with that, Far From Home being the first movie since Endgame, I think the expectations for the next Spider-Man film are astronomical, and they really do have a lot to live up to. Um,
Definitely.
just because of the rumor mill, like it's just really just been going mad ever since day one.
Yep.
Um, and I'm sure I read something the other day that apparently filming is almost finished for it.
Oh, wow.
Don't that because obviously there's like rumors everywhere. Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, if it's nearly finished, then that's it's quite big. Um,
Yeah.
it's definitely gearing up to be something magical.
Definitely.
Um,
And I think there was something in the is it Empire magazine? I've still not read it. I've still not seen it. But
uh,
apparently there was some sort of inside sort of pictures and information on quite a few films that are coming up in Phase 4. Um, and I know that we're definitely due a Spider-Man trailer soon because we had Shang-Chi, then we had the Eternals, and now obviously we're due Spider-Man. So if Eternals came out, the Eternals trailer came out like last week. So maybe we'll need to, since those films are a month apart, maybe we'll need to wait a month before we get anything on Spider-Man. But that's a month I'm happy to wait if we get a decent trailer for Spider-Man.
well, Tom Holland's birthday is like the end of June or something, and there's a lot of rumors that they could probably do with Spider-Man what they did with Shang-Chi because they released the trailer for Shang-Chi on the lead guy's birthday.
All right.
So I'm sure his birthday's like the 20 something of June. So it could very much be then because I'm trying not to look at too many kind of pages that I follow because I didn't want to accidentally see a spoiler for something and be raging.
Aye.
But uh, they share a lot of stuff that like insiders, like people that are genuinely in the know and have been right so many times um, from stuff, and they're saying that they expect a trailer by the end of this month. So
Brilliant.
sorry, end of June. Sorry. So
Yeah.
hopefully we get that. But back to Far From Home though. Um,
Aye.
yeah, absolutely great. Jake Gyllenhaal is one of my all-time favorite actors. I don't think he's ever had a shit film. Um, he's definitely never had a shit performance. He's just one of the best actors out there. His portrayal of Beck is just unbelievable from being and looking like the best good guy ever to the absolute villainous bastard that he was. um, but also the unbelievably intelligent genius that he was um, to take his simulation program and make it something as realistic as it was. Um, just unbelievable. And the whole story, and the way that he fucks Peter up as well, like in the middle of the film, um, with just all the different
Yeah.
illusions and everything else. I think that's great. I think that's a really, really great scene. Um, and also the shock factor when Peter gets hit by the train as well. Like you you
Yep.
you, you, you know he's Spider Man, but part of you go, oh fuck, like that's
Exactly. Yeah.
some bad shit. Um, but then the way he kind of finally defeats him and finds his Peter Tingle again is is brilliant. I also think just in films, there's a lot of time where stuff can get really serious, and Peter's quite serious for a lot of this film, I would say.
Yeah.
Um, and I think the minor characters of Happy, Aunt May, Ned, his wee girlfriend at the time, and MJ, I think they did a really great job at bringing the balance of the film quite well. Um,
Definitely.
and I just think Zendaya is class as well. Like she is honestly going to be just one of the biggest stars in the world. Like it's already happening. Um,
Definitely.
but she just gets better and better. Like I don't know if you've ever watched Euphoria.
I've not, no.
Like, oh man, 100%. It's a must watch show. Like it's raw. It's all about kind of like uh teenage adolescence growing into an adult, drugs, alcohol, sex, addiction. Uh, everything. It's a raw show to watch, but her
Yeah,
performance in it is just incredible. Um,
definitely. I need to look into that.
um, and yeah, and I just think as well, like just the story, like just all the whole story is Peter's gone on a European road trip. Like
Yeah,
you would never have thought that was going to be the story after Endgame. You would have thought it would have been something, I don't know, serious or almost a bit depressing in a way. Um,
yeah, exactly.
but it was nice and upbeat, and it wasn't too somber. And there was moments for Iron Man, there was moments for Peter to remember. There was a feel good moments like when Peter starts working on the suit and the jet, and Happy's just kind of looking at him like it's one of those kind of feel good moments as well.
Yeah,
Um, I just love the film, man. Absolutely love
definitely. Speaking of that bit on the jet, that's I'd say one of my favourite scenes in that film when he's obviously crying and he's all upset, and Happy says to him, "But what are you going to do now? Like, what are you going to do about it?" And Peter gets all hyped up and he's like, "I'm going to kick his ass," and he's like, "Yeah, but I mean, like, what are you going to do right now? Like, what are you going to
it.
do right now? Because right now we've been sitting doing nothing over a goddamn poppy field for about 20 minutes." And then the whole thing about he's like you get the work done, I'll get the music, and he puts on Back in Black, and he's like, I love Led Zeppelin. uh, it's absolutely brilliant. And I think they've done a really good job at making Spider-Man a kid again, because I love Andrew Garfield and I love Tobey Maguire, but let's be real, you know. The both of them are in their fucking 30s when they played Peter Parker, who's supposed to be 16 years old, and it's like they're not. It's a Grease scenario again, where fucking John Travolta's pretending to be a goddamn 17-year-old young man, and he's fucking, he's mid-30s, he's on some sort of steroid, and he's huge.
Yeah,
It's like,
absolutely.
but no, man, I absolutely love it, and I love the whole sort of comeback montage, Rocky style sort of thing. Uh, how he eventually defeats him, and then obviously the ending with that whole, you know, one J. Jonah Jameson comes back, the same actor, J.K. Simmons, fucking love it. Um,
Brilliant.
to reveal that Quentin Beck released the identity of Spider-Man, obviously being Peter Parker, and it ends how the first Spider-Man ended with the "what the fuck," but before he says "fuck," obviously it cuts off. Um, aye, man, it's just the shock factor at the end, amazing throughout. Hints at the multiverse, even though it's the fake one in that film.
Yeah,
But aye, man, it just like you said, it does set up the vibe, because obviously Phase 4 is going for a multiverse feel, but that film's like, yeah, the multiverse exists. Oh no, it doesn't. Wink, sort of thing, and then it sort of sets it up going forward.
yeah, absolutely. And you could tell probably at that moment, so many like conspiracy theorists of Marvel sat there and went, I told you there's a multiverse, I told you. And then
Uh,
you find there's bullshit and they're like, oh like, I can imagine their
that's
emotions during the film were all over the place.
definitely, man. And going forward from all of that we've talked about over the past 3, 4 shows, 5 shows even, including this one. Like, obviously, we're going into the multiverse, but do you think that we're going to get any sort of glimpse of it or any idea of it before Doctor Strange?